It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got another beer from Mallassepa Brewery in Finland, and this is the Imperial BlackCurrant Sour. It's an Imperial Sour, mixed fermentation. It's vegan friendly with blackcurrant. It's 7.2% ABV in a 330 Red Bull style can. Big fan of Mallassepa. I seem to have tried an awful lot of their beers over the last 2 to 3 years. I like the branding. I mention it all the time, but I mention it all the time because I like it. It's that show of strength. A bloke with a big hammer smashing malt. I think it's a really lovely, really top kind of like beer, you know. I'm a married man and not standing here saying I fancy him for 1 minute. But what I'm trying to say here is that I like the drawing. It's the type of thing you'd have a tattoo of. It's the type of thing you have a tattoo of. It's really cool. Anyway, what an awkward start to this beer review. Fancying men hammering malt. Let's get this beer out into a glass, see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. I'm expecting it, well, it is going to be really, really thick, this one, Imperial Sour. It's going to have a load of fruit in it. There we go. We got a 1 finger, kind of, it's almost peachy, like a peachy, creamy coloured head. The liquid in the glass is just tremendous. I mean, look at that. Big, thick juice. Well, it is blackcurrant, isn't it? Carbonation, slow moving, making its way up the side of the glass there. It's a, well, yeah, it's kind of orangey, raspberry coloured, thick, hazy liquid. There's not much in the way. There's a little bit of sediment in the bottom of the glass. You can see a little bit of sediment there, but it's not massive, it's not huge. So it is a can condition beer. Let's get the aroma. That is really, it's got a lot of depth to it. A lot of fruit depth. I think if I didn't read blackcurrant on the can, I think I'd be thinking, what kind of fruit is this? I might be guessing at kiwi or kind of raspberries, probably blackcurrant. It smells delicious. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh! Oh, wow! Oh! Wow! Stone the crows. Stone the crows. That was an intense sour beginning to the beer. I had a lighter version of the Mallassepa sour and I wasn't a massive fan of it. I think when you try and make these fruited sours at, I don't know, 4-5% ABV, they can either go two ways. They're either going to be really good or they're going to be really kind of like not so good. And I think I was honest in saying that I wasn't a fan of the previous sour fruited beer by Mallassepa, but this is a completely different beast. This is a completely different monster. I think they benefit. I think when you get a sour beer, imperial strength, fruited, it benefits from the ABV. It benefits from being stronger. I'm trying not to cough. My apologies, I still got them January sniffles in February. It's really lovely beer. Big fan of this. I think the blackcurrant is kind of punchy. It's kind of really there. You get that kind of the acids from the blackcurrant, the really kind of sharp fruit flavours from the blackcurrant. Carbonation pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth, releases more of the flavour. You can see that carbonation there as I'm rocking the beer back and forth. You can see the small amount of carbonation. You can see how thick the beer is. Have a look at that now. Look at that carbonation. You can see the body of the beer. It's a really big, thick, rich body, and you can see that with the carbonation kind of struggling. There's a lag between the carbonation chasing that liquid up the glass. When you turn, the liquid goes up, carbonation follows. That gives you a really good sign of the body of the beer. Wow. But it's mixed fermentation, so they're getting that sourness from the mixed fermentation. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they used lactobacillus. What lactobacillus does in the beer is, when you brew a beer, say a regular ale, say pale ale, you're sending the beer down the sweet path, because the malt, you're extracting the sweetness from the malt, and the beer becomes naturally sweet. But with the sour beer, how they do that is they fork the sweetness away with the malt. So the malt wants to go down this road and be sweet, but they add lactobacillus, which kind of cuts off that sweetness and it sends it off. It's like a brewing chemical reaction, if you like, and it sends it off from being sweet. It deflects it over to being sour. So you get sour beer. Vegan blackcurrant sour, brewed with a keep it simple mentality. Just quality body, blackcurrant and mixed fermentation. Nothing more. Enjoy. Contains blackcurrant, barley, wheat and oats. Everything else is in the lovely language of Finland, so I'm unable to tell you if it has lactobacillus or not. But you can see the body, the sourness and the sweetness. You can see that the body's big. You can see that the body's big there because of the graph. Much prefer this. I much prefer this over the sour we reviewed just a couple of weeks ago. I think it's the imperialness of it, the body of the beer, the drinkability, how juicy it is with the fruits. And the most important thing, a big smack of sourness that gets you. I like the fact that when you call a sour beer, it's sour. There's a lot of these fruited sours these days that they call them modern sours, and they're just not sour at all. It's just, you're getting just a bit of tartness from the fruit. So I like that from Mallassepa. It's a really good beer. It's a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.